Dr. Joe Dispenza is a neuroscientist, a lecturer, author, so much more. He once said, "Knowledge is power, but knowledge about yourself is self empowerment." And I believe that this by itself is so powerful because, yes, it's so important to have knowledge, but when you have knowledge about who you are, what you are, man, what can beat that? I don't think anything can or anyone can because self-knowledge empowers you to understand who you are, which then empowers everything else in the world. With that being said, I want to welcome you all to Wellbeing Psychology. I am Shantanique, and this is a channel that educates on psychology, purposeful life, personal growth, self-development, brain functions, life balance, and so much more. And I'm so excited to have you guys here today. We're going to hop right in. Today's video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is cognition, cognitive psychology. I just love this topic, and in fact, it is the topic and the subject that changed my life. When I learned about cognitive psychology, I began to understand who I am and what is inside of me, this brain of mine, and my life started to change. So let's get started. So, cognitive psychology, first of all, it's one of the branches of psychology, right? So, we know about psychology already. This is one of the many branches. Now, it's based on an idea that human actions and behavior are from thought processes, right? So, our actions, the way we behave, are from some type of process within our thoughts or the mind. Now, it is the study of mind or study of the mind as an information processor, right? So it studies the mind and views it as that information processor. Now, if you've ever heard of therapy or treatment such as CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, those are direct results of cognitive psychology. Now, if you're not familiar with that, I would definitely have you research that. I'll probably talk about it in a future video. Now, cognitive psychology also involves the study of the internal mental processes. So, what's happening in the inside of our brain, right? And what cognitive psychology attempts to study is things like perception, thinking, memory, attention, language, problem solving, and learning, right? So it's attempting to research these areas because that is something that we as humans, we have to deal with this on a daily basis, right? We have to think, we remember things on a daily basis. We pay attention to things on a daily basis. We speak language. We problem solve. We learn, right? This is something that we deal with every day. So cognitive psychology provides the research and maybe some answers that can help us with our life. So right now we're just going to talk about some of the early history of cognitive psychology. So it is known to have originated in the 1950s, around the time of something we call the cognitive revolution. Early cognitive psychologists developed a theory of human behavior. So earlier in the time, around the 1950s and so forth, the theory they had was based on human behavior, and they went ahead with two distinct paths, which the first one was observing human behavior and making inferences from it. So they would observe a human and their behavior and, make certain inferences about why they behave this way and how can they conclude with that information. Next, scientists also tried to determine how the person's internal world affected their actions. So, how did their thought processes affect the way that they behaved? Now, some of the early scientists, as you can see here on the screen, I have their names put here because I didn't want to say them wrong. I've heard them multiple times, but they are listed here. And there are so many more scientists, especially cognitive psychologists, that participated in the research of finding out about how we as human beings operate. So that's just a little bit of the early history. There's so much more to discover, but that's just a little taste of it. Now, the current research, which is very essential and I think important to how we operate today in society, it focuses on topics such as memory, language, and so much more. Most importantly, the neural process that holds all these things together, right? So that's the focus now. So, for instance, they have created or discussed ideas such as a person's conception of terms are linked to the mental imagery in their mind. So, what do they mean when they say that? So, basically, if I were to say the word couch, right? The word couch, just hearing the word couch or reading the word couch is linked to an image in your mind. So you're making an association, couch, with this image in your mind to actually determine what a couch is. So that couch, that image in your head, is actually developed from your life experiences. So the only reason why you're making that association or linking the word couch with an actual picture of a couch in your head is because you have learned about it through your life experiences. Maybe you have sat on couches, which I think we all have. You've seen multiple different colors and shapes and sizes, right? So, for instance, an infant newborn, if you say the word couch to them, first of all, they're not going to know what it is, and they're not going to know what it looks like or what it even means. So, our brain has developed a process for us to be able to link these things together, right? The neural connections inside of our brain. So when I say couch, I can instantly think, oh, that's what it looks like, and I can go to a couch, right? Now, we all have our individual life experiences. Therefore, I may think of a black couch. You may think of a pink couch, maybe a white one or a leather one, whatever. Your life experience was different from mine, so the mental imagery that's going to pop up when the word couch comes is going to be different for you than for me. However, it is linked to that mental image. So the mental images form an idea of the object by linking all of the neural factors together. So it helps us to make those associations. Just like if you heard a word or someone just said a word to you and you're not familiar with that word, you're not going to know what they're talking about. You're not going to have an understanding. You don't have that mental imagery in your head to be able to link it to that word. So someone can say a word and you're like, what does that mean? Right? You're not able to associate it anything with that word because you've never had the experience of hearing it. You've never had the experience of seeing it. So this person brought this new word to you and you're like, what is that, right? Or let's flip it over, flip the script here. You saw an image, right? Or maybe you went into some type of store and you saw this item and you're like, what is this item? So you're looking at the image, but you don't have a word to link to it. And someone comes over and says, well, that's a blah, 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 right? So now you have the word and the image that you can link together. And so our brain is doing this beautiful process of linking these things all on its own, right? Through our life experiences, through the external world, and linking it to our internal world. Now, scientists and cognitive psychologists have methods now and tools to track our neural activity, which provides help understanding human decisions. So we have this knowledge and this research because of the cognitive psychologists and the scientists who are taking the time to actually study this information for us to be more knowledgeable about who we are and how we operate as humans. They also examine the ways neural exchanges happen in the body and how they're linked to our external world, because our external world is linked to our internal world, right? The things we see, the experiences we have, the people we communicate with are all linked to the thoughts that we think, to the actions and behaviors that the way we respond and we react. So I think that cognitive psychology is just such a beautiful thing because it provides just a little bit of explanation as to why we do the things we do and how we do it, how we remember this, the way we remember it, the neural, pathways inside of our brain. Now, once again, this was just a little bit of a short glimpse because it's so expansive. It's hard to put it all in one video. I don't want to cloud your brain. But I just love cognitive psychology. So the reason I really posted this video today is because I want you to understand that everything is linked and connected in some way. So although you are used to the automatic process of looking at something and learning something. Your brain has its own process for you to be able to do that. That's why people with brain damage have different experiences. And maybe someone can remember when they're like 5 or 6 or 1 years old, and another person's like, I don't have any memories of that, because we all have these neural or neuron, whatever you want to call it, pathways in our brain that are working without our awareness. So that's all that I have for you guys today. I do want to thank you so much for watching. I want to talk more about this topic on another video so that we can get deeper into it, because it's so helpful to understand this information. However, if you did like the information I shared today, please like the video and also comment if you have something you want to inform me of, and share. If you feel like other people could be helped with this content, go ahead and share it. And I do post 5 days a week, so also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I do upload. Other than that, I want to thank you once again for watching today. Have a good day.